If you are perpendicular to the curb, everyone knows what you're doing. Hello everyone, my name is Jess and welcome to my channel. If you're new here and you like my face, stick around for some fun content. So thank you for subscribing if you're new. I saw a couple new subscribers, so you're acknowledged. Love you. Subscribe if you want a dope reading. Also, happy Father's Day from one dad to another. It's so bad, like I want to adopt Jessie Paige is branding because I want to be her, but we're gonna just stick with this. Trust me, you'll love me. I'm great. So today you will all witness the breaking of my storytime virginity. So I'm glad you're all here for this sentimental moment. Like, it's awesome. I'm gonna talk about when I learned to drive. So buckle your seatbelts and get ready for this adventure. Even before I was able to get behind the wheel of a real vehicle, I should have known that I would be a terrible driver because, you know, in my youth, on my PS2, playing Burnout 3, every time I would go around the track, I'd hit the same tree. That should have been a sure sign that driving is not my forte. I think I subconsciously thought that because I was really resistant to driving at first. I'm like, no, driving's for the peasants. I need to be a chauffeur the rest of my life. But not really. I just wanted to like be like a kid forever. Like I still want to be like a kid forever. A lot of people wanted to grow up and have freedom, but I'm like, I don't have friends, I don't have anywhere to be. So like there was no point. Also, I was scared. So I go through the class as we have a written test and then like, you know, your permit, your preliminary license, and your full license. I live in New Jersey, so the permit is 16 and license is 17. We are later than everyone else, and that's why we have one less year of driving experience. So we are deemed to be shitty drivers by the surrounding tri-state, well, the other tri-state states. Be following?
No.
Anyway, we have the driver's ed class through my school. I just barely passed the written test in 80, so like I'm Gucci, I'm good, but like I didn't study for it, so. So I went to take driver's lessons for the first time, and like I was shitting my pants. Not literally, but like mentally shitting my pants.
Scoop-dee-dee-whoop. Whoop-dee-scoop-dee-poop.
Because I was nervous, and I was like, I don't want to grow up. I don't like to be an adult. I don't like to do responsible things. No, I'm the oldest child, so like I should be the one doing these things and setting the example, but like in our house it's weird. It's like role reversal, so yeah, wild. Because I am a baby. So my mom, before this lesson begins, she's like, it's okay, Jessica, you're gonna be fine. Don't worry. And she tells me the last thing she mentions before I walk out the door. She's like, all right, remember, the blinker is on the right side of the steering wheel. I'm like, okay, the blinker's on the right side. Got it. It's in my memory. I get out there. I sit in the driving school car. And first thing he asked me to do, turn on the blinker. I go for the right. The windshield wipers go on. And I'm like, this is gonna be a long day. And yeah, he thought it was dumb. I felt pretty stupid, and you know, it wasn't my doing. I didn't know, like, that was literally my first time behind the wheel ever. Obviously, at first I was terrible, especially based on my burnout experience in the past, like, trauma. But, you know, I went through the lessons, like, I did okay. I had a little refresher lesson, like, a few weeks later, and I got surprisingly good at parallel parking. Cannot pull into a normal spot in a parking lot to save my life today, but I sure as hell can parallel park. Don't mean to toot my own horn or anything, but. So the day of the test arrives. This is the day I'm supposed to triumph and get my license and be a free woman, even though at the time I really didn't want it, but my dad was like, you need to drive because we can't drive you anywhere and your siblings have to go places too, and I'm like, okay. Since you need a car with a middle console brake, I didn't own one, so I had to rent the car from the driving school. So the driving instructor swings by my house, picks me up. I drive to this other girl's house because she's also taking the test the same day as me. So we pull up to the DMV, and she's first. So she goes and she takes the test. And when the car's pulling back, the administrator who, conducts the test, he was driving the car back. And I was like, that cannot be good. So essentially what happened was the girl wasn't paying attention to her surroundings on her K-turn and almost backed into another car, so the other guy had to come and take over. So the guy was already in a pissed off mood by the time I got in there.
That's what she said.
And this girl came out bawling her eyes out, and I'm like, oh good lord. And I had to take the driver's test with that same guy. And I was like, all right, here I go.
Bitch, here I go.
Let's see. I do parallel parking, perfection, 10 out of 10. Like, I'm dope, I got this, boys. Like, I was ready. And I went through, I stopped at all the stop signs, I used my blinkers. Like, when I was turning, I did my K-turn with grace, and I came back. And I'm feeling confident, I'm feeling happy, I'm like, ooh, I just aced it, boys, now my dad will stop nagging me. We pull up, and I stop there after I complete the test, feeling very confident in what I did and my skills. And the guy next to me goes, you almost passed. Do you know what I did wrong? Take a lucky guess. I did not look to the right enough when making a right-hand turn. That's dumb. That's one of the things. And literally, to make a right-hand turn, you look left because you're seeing the cars coming from the left. I looked right a little bit. You don't just look right. That's so stupid. So that was one minute thing that he was picky on. And then I didn't use one blinker backing up on my K-turn. Excuse me, if you are perpendicular to the curb, everyone knows what you're doing. Okay, it's fine. I caught him at a bad time. He was in a pissy mood because the girl before him and I was from the same driving school, so the driving instructor was starting to get a bad rep because of the previous girl, and so he took the brunt on me. And I was like, okay, I guess it wasn't meant to be today, whatever. So, the second time that I took the test, I made sure to look both directions equally and use all my blinkers on the K-turn. Did my parallel parking, 10 out of 10, perfection, once more, pull around. This lady fails me. She claimed that I was speeding, and I was not speeding, so I failed. So I just continue to get people who are in really bad, grumpy moods and don't want to be there because, it's a DMV. I feel like almost every person in the DMV, hates their life for some reason. So I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm irritated, and I got upset, and that time, I was, annoyed. I rented the car twice, and it cost, $70 to rent the car. So I wasted, over $100 renting the stupid car to fail my test 2 times. So the third time comes around, and I borrow my cousin's car this time, and I'm like, I've never driven this car, so I'm not familiar, but we're gonna see how this goes. And so the final test, I get in, and for some reason that day, my parallel parking wasn't 100. It was a subpar 60%, but I managed to get there. So kudos to me. I do the rest of the test, and I finally got my license. After those 2 failed attempts for BS reasons, and then I was victorious. You don't have to be afraid to put your dream in action. And my dad was happy that day, and I was happy that day because I got to miss half of school. And so I got my license 6 months after I was legally allowed to get it. because of BS. So that was my story about getting my license. I have a whole other car story, but I'm gonna save that for another time. If you want that, let me know in the comments, or if you want to hear about other stories in my life, like, let me know. Anyway, stay safe, children, be good people, do amazing things, and see you next week. Bye. Like, every time I do this, I always think of like the nobody and then me meme. That's it.